This week was full of fun. I had offered to do an introduction to paragliding for the aerospace camp students, which was warmly welcomed by the staff. I had to blur some parts out due to the Child Protection Act and need to be careful with that. So this is what I would do if I was on top of a mountain or on a ridge in front of the ocean maybe, or you know, because you don't need the protection. But this has all kinds of features. It has an airbag in the back here, which inflates over a minute or two. Has a parachute reserve, which is on this handle. If I get into trouble, I pull this handle and chuck it into an open space where the wing is not. Well, if you go above 10,000 feet for more than a half an hour, you're supposed to have oxygen. So this is the airbag in behind here thing. It's good if you hit something, if you're landing on hard ground. Pardon me?
You have to have special shoes.
Yeah, good question. You should have boots with ankle support. Because if you hit something funny, you know, a rock or something, and you hit it strange on one side or the other, you can actually twist your ankle. So this is basically what we do when we're on top of a mountain. We strap in and snap in and prepare to launch. It's important that you're focused so you don't make any mistakes like crossing lines or hooking the wrong thing up, because once you're in the air it's really hard to undo it, and dive a little bit. For the most part though, these are only two-axis aircraft like roll and yaw. We can't really control the pitch for very long. What I'm doing here is reverse launching. That way I can look at my wing and see if there's any problems with it. A lot of times if there's no wind, you got to turn around and just run. After the demonstration, I was told several kids were very interested in pursuing the sport. I, of course, pointed them to Freedom Flight School in Lumbee. So when we get it up like this, turn around and launch. Thank you. I had the opportunity to do some kiting at Parksville Beach earlier this week too. I wish we had this kind of green space on our island. At first the wind was so strong I was going to pull out the speed wing, but with all this space, what could happen, right? Bravely I pulled out Big Red, and he was a lot to handle at first. The wind died down a bit, and so I took a break and got the camera. Unfortunately, I ended up talking with a glider pilot, but left the camera going, and then killed the battery. So the following antics couldn't be recorded. Come on, we need to get enough momentum to get it up, because the wind is, there's quite a bit of wind. I took on a new way of kiting, at least for me. Getting purposely dragged through the grass on my knees, butt, and even on my side. In my opinion, this is good practice for those times when it all goes wrong. Also, when I wanted a break and some water, I would just drag over to the car rather than walk. Much more fun. A concerned woman that was flying a stunt kite there came over and asked, "Are you training for a competition?" I must admit it probably looked pretty weird what I was doing. I don't think I ever had so much fun kiting. Whoa, there's a gust. Ah, shit. Oh, I gotta go have a drink. A couple of days after the little teaching session, and starting informal training of a potential pilot the day after, I decided to give the roof rack project a real test by hauling my kayak down to the ocean. I realized it has been 5 years, over a year before COVID, since I took my kayak out last. This one is plastic, not fiberglass, which makes it tough, but also very heavy. The wheel bracket I made to pull it around worked fine, but hauling him back out was a bit more than I had bargained for, which you'll see shortly. Nice and peaceful. I had to work out muscles that have long since atrophied, and I'll admit, getting the speeds and rowing pace I used to have was really a lot harder. The conditions had deteriorated quite a bit before I returned from Erickson Beach downwind a ways, so I ended up rowing into the wind, plus with whitecaps. As usual, I missed the money shot, not even thinking about starting the camera. Damn, I forgot to have the camera going. I got into some pretty wild and wacky stuff back there, but I'm sure the best is yet to come. I almost need to wear gloves with this. I'm kind of cutting across the waves because if I go straight into them, I'm going to end up in Powell River at the mill site. But yeah, I think I can turn soon. I just don't want to be a beam to these waves. So, yeah, well, I can ride with him and then ride him out closer to shore, I suppose, too. Yeah, I'll do that. It's going to be quartering, but at least they won't be a beam. Okay. Let's go get wild and wacky. Hey, here we go. We're a beam. Now they're kind of a little aft of us. And we're no longer going into the wind, so it's going to be a little easier now. You can see they're kind of cutting across at a 45-degree angle. And yeah, I'm boogieing because the wind is helping me now. I remember when I was surfing here one year on this kayak, just boogieing along. It's almost too strong to paraglide. Well, not for me, I guess, but there certainly is a number of whitecaps out there, contrary to what they said. With the weather report, they said it was going to be dying down, and then this afternoon be not windy at all, and then start getting windy this evening. But it looks like this evening came early by about 5 hours. Anyways, so now I gotta cat back out. I think it's a little more docile in here than it is out there. So, anyways, so there was a little bit of splashy for you. I'm gonna stop it now. Now, let's see if my smokes got wet. Nope. Good. Because I really feel like having one. Yeah. So while I was putzing around, I hadn't realized that today was the lowest tide of the year pretty much, and was shocked to see how far I would have to haul the kayak up just to get to the foot of the boat launch ramp. Oh, that green crap, I think, stinks. Once up there, I flipped the wheels down and things got a lot easier. Here's the kayak in place, back on.
There it is. All strapped on. More or less. Yeah, it works for that distance. If it was further, I'd strap it on a little bit better, but or have brackets probably, like on coming off of here. But for what it is, it's good. There, another adventure.
Next, I go back to Turkey to do some touristing and some serious flying. Thanks for watching.